when they open the month of May. So it's always, I think, a little bit easier in terms of reading markets when you have the same starting point. We look at the reference bars for a reason. We can see where all these markets were trading at this particular time. It's what makes RB3, I think, the one of the best reference bars because you've got so much that impacts our Western markets all open at the same time. You got the European cash markets and futures. You got the U.S. futures markets, and of course, that beginning of RB3 is the beginning of the U.S. cash market coming in. It's a nice, clean, crisp picture. It's a little bit strange to think that tomorrow morning we're going to have one of our players missing. Meta and Microsoft earnings, I believe those came out after the bell. And just based on how the S&P is reacting, I'd say that looks somewhat positive. The Nasdaq's up a little bit. Dow futures are up a little bit. So overall, I'd say the results of those earnings reports were positive. Now, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to earnings reports, I'm always interested to know who's reporting when, but I'm not quite as interested in the details of the report. Like if the earnings were X percent higher than expected or Y percent lower than expected, because then you start getting into how would the market react. Here's the neat thing. I'm going to see that market reaction before I get the press briefing on what was reported. So I know how the market's reacting. I can go back later and look at it and try and figure out, okay, so what did that really mean? How did that impact everything? But as far as what's happening in the market right now, this is where futures markets and the 24-hour marketplace, heck, we got stocks that are open nearly 24 hours. So we've got this big, broad look at the market. We can see all the reactions. So when someone says, the question here, what about Meta and Microsoft? Just looking at the index futures and the way the markets are performing since we opened this month of May, I'd say it was a somewhat positive read. Microsoft big pop and Meta up a little. Okay. Where is T-Buzz? Well, he's going to be joining us in just a minute. Got to get technical stuff all worked out, make sure the slides are where we want them. Those are going to be posted a little bit later. And look at that, recording in progress.
Hey,
Mr.
testing
Busby,
1
how you
2
doing
3.
today?
Testing 1 2 3 4. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Folks, I got to tell you, we had some of the best, I would say some of the best fun we've had in a long time with a spot little class that we did today. Who attended the class I did today? Where I built upon the different subjects that we did. Pretty fun, wasn't it? To see all the tools, see everything in play in really the last day here of April, okay? And I thought it was interesting because I told you this last week, and I said, it could turn out to be this market makes a shot at where we open April at. And guess what? We did. It was fun to watch. But we didn't get there just going straight up, did we? We had that morning sell-off. I called it, the whole subject of my class today was how Wall Street takes your money. Everybody saw for themselves, I think, the value of the education we've been doing. And then, out of nowhere, we went through the tools, Genesis, MTI by DTI, time of day. And guess what stock popped up as a buy in the middle of the day? Palantir, 115.75. The stock in the after hours right now is at 120.49. That's pretty strong. That's real strong. We also bought Dollar General. Listen to this. Donna said at the end of it, and I said, the QQQ just flipped to a buy. She went and made a couple $100 at the end of the day. Not bad, Donna. Way to go. This is what made it fun for me, for people to see it develop and then see the market do what it did. But that's not over. There's going to be many more days like today, because I think we're getting closer, closer. In fact, I think after July, there was a report I read many years ago that said that a monkey could throw darts against a board and make a fortune in the market. I think after July, I keep saying this, it's going to be very nice. Jennifer just made $220 on the TQQ. How about that? Isn't that great, hearing these stories? Little by little, I think people's eyes are being opened about the power of what we've put together in the last 40 years. Now, that doesn't mean every trade is going to win. Doesn't mean that's going to happen at all. But what it does mean, if you follow the process that I teach, you will save a lot of heartburn over time. Starts out with the big picture. It starts out with, these are the stocks that money's flowing into. These are the news items you got to worry about. What I'm describing is a newsletter that I put out on Monday now. By the way, if you join my newsletter, let me tell you about this. If you join it, make sure you make it to the Telegram channel. Okay? Make sure you make it to my Telegram channel that has the weekly newsletter. I'm going to do something real special for everybody on Friday there, and I'm going to post it in there. Okay? By the way, if you want to join the newsletter, I'm going to ask Adam if he's here, or Josh is here, to post that in the room. This is the deal of the year, according to everybody else. $9.99 in the beta version of the newsletter. You heard me. You might post that in there where those that are not members get there, because we only got a couple more days, okay? This is our weekly newsletter. It's our weekly newsletter, okay? And I think it's going to be a hot one. Comes out on Monday afternoon. Now, if I say to you, I'm going to talk about tonight a way that I can teach you getting with me on a Monday night and parlaying this knowledge over the years and be able to take advantage of it. How many people are interested in something like that? That you know, every Monday night we're going to line it out and post it and take advantage of it. How many people's interested in that? Raise your hand if you are, because that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Because guess what, folks? We got it in place. We're going to talk about it tonight. So let me get into today's market. Join our Telegram channel. Go to YouTube if you'd like to see the classes we taught today. They're posted in YouTube. And we're pretty happy about what's going on, and everybody here. If you listen, I will help you navigate whatever they throw at us the rest of this year. Did y'all see Meta? Did y'all see Meta? We were long Meta in our Project Zebra program, and we own it. The stock, not a bad afternoon. not a bad afternoon. So let's get going and let's do it. Risk involved in trading, past performance is not indicative of future results. Now, former Air Force officer, active trader since the 70s. Well, you can say that again. Former member of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which gave me insight to the 24-hour market. And I teach it. I've been teaching it for years. It's a separator. No one will teach you about the 24-hour market. No one. Because I was very fortunate having a Globex terminal back in the day. That was a forerunner to electronic trading. In my opinion, we start out tonight with a very strong market. In fact, the S&P right now is 5635. It's pretty strong. And by the way, this is May 1st we're talking about tonight. This is May 1st. Now, I found this chart. Now, I want to take you back to my subject line of the day. What Wall Street will do to take your money. Amid all the drama, the stock market finished April positive. You say, but how can that be? I've been reading all this nasty headlines all month long. You remember when I put out my long-term buy on Tesla at 250? Y'all remember that? I couldn't find anything positive over a weekend. I went through 10 separate news sources, great sources with great reputations. Nothing positive. The stock has not looked back. It's 282. It's been up to 292. Keep your eye on it. I'm long Palantir. You know, you can buy Palantir tonight into after hours on TD Ameritrade, and I strongly recommend you do. Palantir, PLTR. You can go in your TD Schwab account and you can buy a few shares of it. Then add to it tomorrow if you're making some money. Palantir looks good. I'm sort of happy I bought it. Remember, they took that stock, ripped my heart out last year. Had it lined out, but I just couldn't hang with it. The emotions. Getting back a little bit each day now. Each day. So, amid all the drama, stock market. Do you think all those people that caused all those other people to lose money all month long in April are going to come in and say, hey, I apologize for telling you to get out. It was a depression coming or a recession coming or whatever. You think that they're going to apologize to people they scared the bejesus out of? What did I do? I said, take your hand off the mouse. The VIX is way too high. Be cautious. Be patient. This will stop and the sun will come up again. Guess what? Started about 7-8 days ago. You can see the spreads tighten, VIX start to fall. And guess what? Learn what I teach. Trade what I talk about. And you will be so happy around Christmas time. Okay? That's my opinion. Here's the Seven Sisters update. We're down 5% for the year. I believe that when we get past July, all those negative numbers will be gone. DAX is up 14%. I told you about gold. Let's talk about gold for a second. Not just a year and a half, but the last 5 years, I've been a bull on gold. Last year, gold was dying. It was going down. I told people on Valentine's Day to make a low. It was about 1900 at the time. I said, you ought to be a buyer of gold. We bought gold all year long, gold stocks all year long. We bought gold, 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 silver, gold. This year, on Valentine's Day, somebody asked a question, Tom, what will be the high in gold this year? I said 3,500. 3,500. We went to 3,509. And then I told people, stand aside, stand aside. It's going to consolidate. Well, gold is still consolidating. If it gets down to, write this number down, 32.37. 32.37. If gold gets down to 32.37, I'm going to start nibbling. I'm still bullish, but if it gets down there, that's where I'm going to nibble. Okay, and I'll let you know if it does. Okay, 32.37. Currently about 32.82. Let's go. Crude oil. I told people at the first year, crude will be headed to 45. This is when it was at 72. You know where crude oil is tonight? Does everybody here know where crude is tonight? $58 a barrel. $58 a barrel. You know what that does to inflation? You watch crude. You don't have to worry about inflation if crude keeps dropping. $58 a barrel. That's where it is tonight. And you heard me over and over tell you, I thought it was going down, okay? It actually went up 2.5% this year before it reversed. That was crude. Now here's what I said on bonds. I said, I think bonds will be one of the safest plays this year. Interest rates will fall, bond prices will climb. I think we're getting very close to a launch of bonds where interest rates will fall. By the way, did you know interest rates fell during the month of April? Nobody's talking about that. Interest rates fell during the month of April, but I think you're just getting the edge off. I think it's going to go a lot lower. Now, if it goes a lot lower, bond prices will go up. TLT will go a lot higher. In fact, I'll be looking very close of those first 3 days in May to see if it's time. By the way, that is the most critical thing you can be doing right now. Working real hard in May, Thursday and Friday and Monday, which is the 5th, Cinco de Mayo Day, huh? Then we'll have our answer for what May's going to look like. Everybody understand? That's what we're looking for, those first 3 days in May. So, folks, if you're not fired up, if you're not excited, if you don't see a way to be part of what we're doing, you're left out. The 10 tickers. Here were the 10 tickers that I put out this week. I always tell people, usually 3 to 5 of these will hit this week. Now I want you to look at that. Look at that. Palantir, my number 3, 112.55. Tesla, my number 2, 292.55. AMD, let's talk about AMD. AMD tonight in the after hours is at 99.44. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy a little bit of AMD right now where I can have a piece of the pie. Excuse me for that break. It trades 24 hours. Y'all know that, right? Mine's a nibble. There, that's simple. I'm on AMD. Okay. Microsoft looks good too. Folks, you know, you might say, I don't have enough money to buy this. You can buy $1,000 worth. $1,000 could turn into a lot of money for you if you do it right. QQQ, I said above 473.55, and the QQQ is about to accelerate because tonight, listen to this, y'all ready? TQQ's 57.27. Maybe by the time we get to tomorrow morning, that will be a buy. Here's your list of numbers. Check it off. Tesla's close. Palantir's already there. Berkshire's there. AMD, I bought tonight. That's a list right there. QQQ looks good. Write this down. This is very valuable information. Does everybody got it? Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? If you don't have a lot of money, you can buy $500 worth or $1,000 worth of these stocks and make some money. Y'all understand that? You can do it right here, right there. These stocks trade 24 hours. Now, a friend of mine that I work out with sent this to me, and I'm not a fan of Bill Gates, okay? But I read this, and I wanted you to have it because everybody here might have some younger person or something they could give it to, but it's pretty good. Rule number 1, life's not fair. Get used to it. Rule number 2, the world doesn't care about your self-esteem. The world will expect you to accomplish something before you feel good about yourself. Now, this is given to as a valedictorian to this high school class. Rule number 3, you will not make $60,000 a year right out of high school. You won't be a vice president with a car phone until you earn it. That's the way trading is. You got to earn it. If you think your teacher is tough, wait till you get a boss. I like this one. Flipping burgers is not beneath your dignity. Your grandparents had a different word for burger flipping. They called it opportunity. Rule number 6. If you mess up, it's not your parents' fault. So don't whine about your mistakes. Learn from them. Before you were born, your parents wasn't as bored as they are now. That's what that's right. They got that way from paying your bills, cleaning your clothes, and listening to you talk about how cool you thought you are. So before you save the rainforest from the parasites of your parents' generation, try delousing the closet in your own room. This is pretty good stuff. Your school may have done away with winners and losers, but life has not. In some schools, they have abolished failing grades, and they give you as many times as you want to get the right answer. That doesn't bear the slightest resemblance to anything in real life. Life is not divided in semesters. You don't get summers off, and very few employers are interested in helping you find yourself. Do that on your own time. I like this one. Television is not real life. In real life, people actually have to leave the coffee shop and go to jobs. And this last one is obviously written with him. He was writing this with him in mind. Be nice to nerds. Chances are you'll end up working for one. I thought this was a cool thing he gave me. I wanted to share it with you tonight. A little out of character, but you know, it makes you laugh, doesn't it? When you look at some of the things, a very smart individual, you can't take that away from Bill Gates. Not a fan of his, but pretty good stuff. Anyway, you might take it, copy it, share it with friends of yours, get a good laugh. Okay? A lot of this is true, especially if you know some young people. Today's trade on Palantir, I was in at 115.85. That price is all wrong, Jonathan. It's not 117.50. That price right now is 120.75. That is so strong, 120.75. Let's move. Today's focus is how Wall Street takes your money. First, a few things that happen. They use fear to convince you to exit great stocks. Result of this fear is taking losses or taking smaller profits. I've done it, you've done it. Think about that. Follow your plan. They use the news media to perpetrate this over and over again. Don't they, though, working in collusion together? Today's a good example. Stock market today, this is what they wrote. Dow, S&P dropped. GDP data shows economy contracting. There must have been 15 articles that said we're either in a recession already or we're going into a depression. That's what they were saying. The news will tell you that tariffs caused everything. Nothing could be further from the truth. All these actions are to convince you to get out of good quality trades. And you're not going to do that. You're going to follow the rules that you establish and be disciplined about it. That's what you're going to do. Now, here's what they won't tell you about. They won't tell you about home sales hitting 6% in March. Did anybody see a story about that? Home sales hitting 6% in March? They won't tell you that crude oil has dropped over 10%. Have I seen any articles today talking about how crude is going to lower the price of inflation? Anybody written an article about that today? No. They won't tell you that regulations have been reduced in the first 100 days of the Trump campaign, which lowers the cost of doing business. They don't talk about that. They won't talk about the tax bill. They're scared to death of this tax bill because if we get the tax bill in our pocket, then my prediction of July will come true. They won't talk about anything positive about companies out there, only they've pulled their forward guidance. Okay? It's like a vacation for these CEOs. They don't have to dig in. They every day take the path of least resistance and not even talk about it. This all infers that things are pretty awful. That's the storyline of the street. And this is exactly what Wall Street does to take your money. I've watched it for years and years. I used to fall into these traps. I don't do it anymore. Today, I was a buyer. Yesterday, I was a buyer. Here's what you can do to avoid the trap. You have the support tools that I've created over the years, the roadmap software, MTI by DTI, and be in my TNT, around the clock trading with TNT. If I see something tonight, I don't care if I'm up and I see it, I will post it in there. It's like a whole little research lab for people to go to and get information that is true, factual, that will make you money. That's what's in there. Plus, when things need to be bought or sold. Today, I spent a lot of time in the Zoom room with the students. I did that because I woke up thinking, we're going to do some training today, and I loved it. Showing them what the market was really saying by using our reference bar approach. Here's what the DTI white papers say about it. Go to www.dtitrader.com/WP. Read this, learn it, ask questions about it. This is the approach. I don't want to hear people say, oh, it's above the moving average or below the moving average. That doesn't mean crap. What means something is following these reference bars. I'll put it up against any method out there, any approach out there. It works, folks. It works in up markets. It works in down markets. That's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about what I've got planned for the future. I decided to host another online class July 28th and 29th. This time I'm going to focus on the 3 pillars of what's going to make you a success. Okay? 3 pillars: stocks, options, and futures. Stock, option, and futures. I can take somebody inexperienced that will listen and show them during this 2-day class with the training I give going up to it, where you will be far ahead of most people in the market. That's a promise. That's right. That's a promise. I will do that step by step, day by day, as we go forward into this July 28th and 29th. We'll cover stock options, and I will add futures training inside this class. It will be online. It will be over 2 days, and I will show you how everything fits together. The dates are July 28th and 29th, online only. Today was a miniature version of what I'm planning. So I had a lot more trading. Class will focus on using the roadmap, MTI, to make trades during the markets. We'll focus on using the 7 sisters to find trades, to put odds in our favor. Does everybody know what that means? Each session that I start, I will tell you, hey, the NASDAQ's making highs. Let's go buy a QQQ and take advantage of it. Or buy the TQQ to take advantage of it. Or the SPY's making lows. Let's go buy the SQQ. Let's buy an option. Let's do it. All this is the way we'll do it. Focus on the primary setup that I use for the roadmap software to get the most out to fit your trading, no matter what style it is. This is a class you got to be part of. Got to be part of. That's the picture of the roadmap right there. Notice it's got an ETR line. That's electronic tape reader. It's got the compass charts, putting things in perspective. And on the left-hand side, I've got a certain order that I do things. Last, open, RB open, the current reference bar, up or down, how high it's been, how low it's been, and the midpoint. So at a glance, with my setup, you know whether to be long, short, or out, using that custom setup that I built. We'll turn to MTI by DTI to show you the importance of the white MTI lines, whether to be long, short, or out, whether there's a green arrow like there was tonight in the night market on the Micro E Mini, as it goes from opening to these high prices. That's what it looks like. That's what a buy signal looks like right there on that. Everybody see it above the white lines, above the magenta line, should be long. I'll showcase the MTI opportunity scanner to find stocks on futures that allow you to set risk reward and all bets off numbers. This is a very valuable integral part of MTI by DTI. MTI indicator for Thinkorswim watch list, opportunity scanner. It's very clear. You see the buy, 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 buy. Look at that. Tells you where to buy it, when to buy it, and the number to buy it. On every stock, even in your portfolio, you can run it through the opportunity scanner. We also cover different strategies that allow you to take advantage of the market, whether it's going up or down, whether you use options, stocks, or futures. I'll teach you how short-term trading, some favorite tickers during this class: QQQ, SPY, TQQ, SQQ. You saw Jennifer, she made $200 today just with a little bit of training. Wait till she gets this class. And the XSP, just to name a few. The hottest stocks: Tesla, Berkshire, NVIDIA, many more. We'll also review the strategy of using utility stocks to grow your retirement account. I have a strategy that I will teach you how to set up utility stocks for long-term trading. Been using it for years. It works like a charm. I'll show you exactly how to do that during this class. As this unique opportunity will allow you to request topics you won't cover outside. In other words, if I don't hit the main themes, which I will, then I'll take questions that you might have personally All you need to do after you get signed up, send it subject line, I'd like Tom to cover, and put at TG at DTI Trader with topics you want me to cover. I'll be glad to do it. Love doing it. Now, because I am going to teach futures, it's a little different 2-day class. I got to train you to get some value out of that. So I'm going to give you access over the next 3 months to my world famous futures education. I have a trade room there. I have a class every Monday night. Sometimes I have specials on Thursday night where I get together. Oh, did I tell you we got one tomorrow? Now, if you're already a member of Future First, I know a lot of you are, okay? I will add 3 additional months to your subscription. But you got to get into the class to get that. No gifts here. You got to get in there to the class. Each Monday we'll meet at 7, and that'll start the week with you after you read my newsletter, and then we go into the class at 7 o'clock. We'll look at stocks as well as futures at night, starting at 7 o'clock on Monday night leading up to this class. You'll also receive access to my Futures First Telegram channel. Valuable key, a valuable password to get in there. Telegram channel's up and running. Now, how much value is in there? A lot of value. My goal, if you join tonight, here's my goal. If you join tonight, we will cover anything you pay tonight by the end of May. That's my goal. That gives you 2 months to really take advantage of everything I'm teaching. How do you like that one? That's my goal. Now, here's what Roger, he's a new futures trader, and you met him if you've been to any of our classes, but Roger's been working hard. He's an orthopedic guy. He fixes people. Well, I fixed him when it comes to trading. He joined my futures class last 2 weeks. He made 1,100% on one this Monday, and he made 400% on the previous Monday. Now he's going to get to add Thursday to that. I hope we expand his love letter. He thinks I keep it simple. No matter what your skill level is, I can teach you how to do this. I've taught it for years. That's why I came out of retirement. Nobody was doing it. I said, I better do it. All right, so here's the price, a low price for this kind of training, $9.97. I'm going to cover that 24-hour market cycle where you can use it no matter where you live. We'll look at the Seven Sisters market and show you what they tell you about entering different markets, when to enter that. I'll talk about various strategies, whether it's short-term, swing, or long-term. I'll show you my strategy with utility stocks. They can be part of your long-term retirement account strategy. And like I said, you get 3 months bonus in my Futures First education program if you sign up tonight. You can call 904-706-3532 if any of you has got any questions. Now, why did I choose those dates? I put the odds in my favor. I know after July, this market's going to be on a run. I wanted to be with you where I could show you how to take advantage of it for the rest of the year. That's why I chose those dates. Now, if you attend this class, you'll see me do live trading right in front of me. In other words, that Palantir trade that I'm already up $1 on in tonight's market. Think about this. I'll say, here's how you do it. You go in there, you click this, you click that, boom. Couple things to remember. For the next 3 months, you get access to our world-class futures training. It starts tomorrow night. You need about, oh, by the way, if you do open a futures account, open if you're new with Tasty Trade. I've got a link there to get you through the approval process. You need about $2,500 in that account. That's all you need. Now, if you're new to options, I'll give you an options course to help navigate that strategy and tactics. In fact, Jonathan reminded me, we ought to cover an executive summary of my option program at 7 o'clock over the next 9 weeks to go through these different strategies. very valid. Now, there it is, folks. I laid it out for you. Don't disappoint. Be where somebody wants you to be, not where they tolerate you. Be there with me. Let me teach you how this game works. Any questions? Christine, the link for Tasty Trade, I think, is tastytrade.com/DTI, isn't it? Jonathan, is that it, or do you have a special link you give? Used to be simple. I don't know if it's more complicated than it was. He's getting a referral for you. I'll post it in here. Get signed up. Nothing says, since I'm trading, hey, think about this one. Nothing says, since I'm trading futures, trading stocks, trading options, I'm going to stop at tomorrow night. If I can bring you along as fast as possible and feel good, and we got the kind of market, we can make some hay together. There's the referral link right there. That's the referral link. What's the video, Mel? He'll post a link in there for the video. Read Mel's question, post it in there and answer. There's the link for Tasty Trade. There you go. Folks, I can't do it anymore. Put more enthusiasm in it, more passion in it. Get on board. If this market's hot on day number one, I'm liable to call a flash meeting just for this program. Not promising. I got one already tomorrow night, but if it's really hot, I might say, let's pay for this sucker in a day. That'd be quite something to talk about, wouldn't it? May's my favorite month. I told y'all that, right? Okay. Sign up. DTItrader.com/midyear or call 904-706-3532 if you'd like to talk to somebody. They're there to talk to you. You got to love what I put together here. This is something else. You know, if you stand back and say, can anybody do what I've just said? I can, because I have the experience as an educator to do all this. And why stand in the back? Why stand in the back? Go to the front. Get to the front of the line. Don't learn it the way I had to learn it through the School of Hard Knocks, because it wasn't easy. Very expensive. If I could have joined a class like this when I got started, sign me up. I mean, everything that all the obstacles in front of you, right? All the obstacles that are in front of you that stop you from succeeding. You're going to get a direct line from start to success in this class, because we're going to go through it step by step and work on it 3 months before we even have the final showdown, which is July 28th and 29th, on Monday and Tuesday. Get signed up. Now, let's just talk about something. Say I said if you put $500 in Palantir and tomorrow, I said, let's just do some math. If you put $500 in Palantir, okay, which is It's $121. And tomorrow morning it's at 130. You think you're gonna have more money than you started with at $500 invested in Palantir? If you got 100 shares, you know you'd have more, right? That'd be $1,000. If you had 100, if you had 100 shares of Palantir, right? You just paid for this class if it goes to 130 tomorrow. Think about that. That's the kind of monster trades you can do and watch. And by the way, I'll update you on this in the morning in TNT, see how it's doing. I hope I got a good story to tell. So I put it out there tonight. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I'm holding a short class. I'm going to put a trade on going into Friday. That's my plan. Do a little education, do a little setup, be ready to go. Okay, that's another big bonus for all you people in my futures program that you just got the tag team success with. Wasn't planned, wasn't promised, I just decided to do it. Why? It's the first day of the month. It's a Thursday coming off a heck of a week. And hey, we're not taking a vacation. We're focused. That's what we're doing. We're focused. So, any last minute questions for me? Last minute questions. Okay, let's say Laura asked a good question. With tomorrow being May Day, what about European markets? When did I tell you during the day that's the best time of day to trade? Around Genesis, right? Why? Because all the markets are closed except America. We got a whole night and a day. Let's take advantage of it together. Let's take advantage of it together. That's why, Laura, I'm pretty excited about May Day. David, it'll be better off waiting until in the morning. Let this futures market churn and burn a little bit to get into it in the morning rather than night. That's experience. Good, Laura. Good. All right. Any last minute questions about what we're doing, how we're doing it to make sure everybody here tonight has a chance to have a great year? I'm going to wrap it up, get signed up, get the slide link. Y'all have a good night. I'll see everybody tomorrow, first time at 5 a.m. in the morning.